Hello, I'm Suzanne Alexander. I am the co-founder of the Live Like Lou Foundation. My husband Neil and I started Live Like Lou when he was diagnosed with ALS in 2011. Although Neil is no longer with us, the promise and the impact of Live Like Lou lives on. We do this work in honor of the mighty Lou Gehrig and in support of ALS families who are living with this disease every single day. I'm very proud of the Live Like Lou Foundation and our work to support families and also to raise funds and grant funds for ALS research across North America. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the great Live Like Lou outdoor cleanup. You got to this video because you're interested in the program. I'm very proud of this program and I can't wait to tell you more. And I look forward to seeing your applications so that we can move on and get to work serving your family. So the Great Live Like Lou Outdoor Cleanup is a program that matches volunteers with ALS families across the country. We are very focused on outdoor, occasional, arms and legs support for families living with ALS. We do this by recruiting volunteers from our primary philanthropic partner, the Men of Phi Delta Theta fraternity. They have 170,000 members living across North America, and to a man, they hate ALS and they love serving families like yours and mine. We also are beginning to grow our volunteer network beyond the Brothers of Phi Delta Theta fraternity and into the new communities of support, such as the researchers that we fund and some of our partners. So we're very proud of this program, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it now. So actually, first I want to give you a couple of examples. So this is an example of a daughter of an ALS family, and the volunteers went out and assembled her trampoline for her, and then they jumped on it with her, which is so great. Here's a woman who lives in Kentucky, and her volunteers went and helped clean out her basement and her garage to get her house ready for sale. Here's a group of volunteers, both undergrads and alums, who were doing a yard cleanup. And here's an example of an alumnus of Phi Delta Theta fraternity who went and served a man living with ALS in his community, all by himself, which is so wonderful. So here's a group of volunteers. This is actually the staff of Phi Delta Theta fraternity in Ohio, serving an ALS family in their community. They all loaded up a couple cars and a truck and went out and cleaned up the yard, which is just so generous and kind. So what the Great Live Like Lou outdoor cleanup is, it is volunteer driven. It is occasional, meaning once or twice, perhaps a semester or a few times a year at most. It's yard and garage cleanup. It's snow shoveling. It's basement clean out. It's the arms and legs volunteer support that really makes you feel proud of your space while you're busy being a caregiver or living with the disease of ALS. It also includes minor outdoor repairs. For example, we've had repairs where a ramp had fallen into disrepair and it needed some muscle to get it fixed, or minor outdoor errands such as rubbish hauling. We've also done things like assembly of a basketball hoop and assembly of a storage shed. These are all wonderful outdoor arms and legs activities that help families like yours and mine feel like we have things under control despite living with the disease of ALS. It's also compliant with social distancing. We require all of our volunteers to be knowledgeable about the local social distancing rules and compliant with CDC guidelines. This is to protect our ALS families, and it's to protect them too. So the work is outdoor, it's socially distanced, it's masked if that's what's required. We really want to keep everybody safe, and we want to keep the time together focused on the volunteer work and not on, hopefully getting someone sick unnecessarily. Here's what it's not. It's not paid. This is volunteer support. Sometimes I'll get families who say, oh, I really want to buy them lunch. I'd really like to pay them for their support. These volunteers hate ALS and they love serving families like yours and mine. Pay is not a part of the equation here, so please don't worry about that. It's also not direct physical contact. It's not handling of any medical equipment or supplies. It should never be unsupervised interaction. meaning you don't want to have our volunteers in a situation where they're unsupervised with family members. It will never include transportation, and it does not include fundraising for family individual needs. Again, we really want our volunteers to focus on the good work that they're doing with their arms and their legs. And I'm sure you agree that is quite invaluable when you're going through the ALS journey. So here's an example of a group of brothers of Phi Delta Theta fraternity who loaded up 19 guys in a car and drove 4 hours to go and help clean up the farm of an ALS patient living in Eastern Oregon. And here's an example of an alumnus of the fraternity who went out and did some rubbish cleanup and burning for a woman living with ALS in Western Pennsylvania. These are examples of sometimes you get a whole crew and you get a whole chapter of volunteers, and sometimes you get a guy. To a person, like I said, they hate this disease and they're so proud of themselves for serving you. What you want to do is be super clear about what your needs are. Maybe come up with one small project and one medium-sized project. And then when you have those in your mind and you start interacting with your volunteer, they can scale it and they can figure out if they want to recruit more people to come and help you when they serve you on the date that you guys agree to. Here's another example of a group of Phi Delts who went out and helped a woman and her daughter who were giving care to their husband and dad who's living with ALS. Okay, so next steps. Complete that application. Make sure you provide the very best method for contacting you or someone who can communicate with us to explain what the need is and set a date. So that might be email, it might be text, it might be a phone call. Then we will contact you. It might be someone from LiveLikeLou Foundation, it might be someone from our partners at Hope Loves Company, or someone from Phi Delta Theta fraternity. Either way, we will get in touch with you, confirm your need, make sure you understand the next steps, and then we'll get started recruiting. What we do is we put a great big net over your zip code, and we start looking for members who are signed up as volunteers to come out and serve you. It takes a few weeks, 4 to 6 weeks on average. We do have some occasions where we can't serve the family because they live in northernmost Maine or way out in the middle of, big land in North Dakota or on an island off of South Carolina. We don't like that, but sometimes your home is just too difficult for our volunteers to get to. And then we'll let you know, we're sorry, we can't serve you. But I'm proud to say that more than 90% of the families who've signed up for our program have been served with volunteer support. So fingers crossed that we'll be able to connect you with a volunteer soon. Once we introduce you to your volunteer, this usually comes in an email. Your volunteer will contact you and you guys take it from there. He'll call you or she will send you an email, or you guys will get in touch. You'll discuss the need. You'll see what supplies are needed, what supplies you have, what else needs to be collected. You'll set a date that works for all of you. And then you do the volunteer support. And hopefully it works out great. I really haven't heard any problems yet. Very optimistic that we'll be able to serve you soon. If there is a problem or if there is a concern, or let's say your volunteer is not able to get in touch with you, please give us a call or an email. Email's best at info@livelikelou.org. And then we'll be in touch to see what we can do to make the situation right. Keep in touch with us, and we'd love it if you send us a picture to tell us how your volunteer event goes. If you have some story that you want to share or some praise that you want to share, we love hearing those stories. And actually, it helps to attract more ALS families to our program. Here's the thing I want to tell you. When you let our volunteers into your home and into your lives to serve you, you're actually giving more than you're getting. I hope you understand that. Together through this program, we are creating a whole new network and a whole new generation of advocates for this disease, ALS. Thank you for letting us serve you. We mean it. We can't wait to get arms and legs dirty and start cleaning up your yards and shoveling your snow and planting your spring bulbs. Thank you for helping us to leave ALS better than it finds way too many of us. Okay, take care. We look forward to hearing from you. Bye-bye.